Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive on casually becoming CEO.
Yeah.
And today we're going to be looking at
Charisma, baby, charisma.
charisma.
Yeah.
So we were both pretty fascinated by this interview with Charlie Houpert on the Diary of a CEO.
Yeah, it's a good one. He's a smart guy.
Yeah, and I think for this episode, we're not going to do like a point-by-point summary of the episode.
Right.
We're just going to kind of pull out some of the things,
The good stuff.
yeah, that really resonated with us and kind of like use those as jumping off points for our own discussion.
I like it.
So one of the first things that really struck me was just how much Charlie emphasized that charisma is not something you're born with.
Yeah.
You know, it's not.
I think we all kind of maybe have this idea that some people just have it. Like Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Like he just walks in the room and everybody's like, oh my God.
Or like Tony Robbins,
Or,
you know,
yeah.
these larger than life figures. And I think what Charlie does a really good job of is breaking it down
Yeah.
into something that is learnable.
And even he talks about himself,
Yeah.
how he was painfully shy growing up.
I love that part of the interview.
Like painfully shy, yeah. Where he had to go to speech therapy because he just couldn't speak to people.
It felt invisible, you know?
And he felt invisible. Right.
And I think that's something that I think a lot of us can relate to.
Totally.
Have you ever felt invisible in a social situation?
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe not like completely invisible, but there have definitely been times, you know, when I was younger, especially where I felt like I just kind of blended into the background. Like I wasn't really being seen or heard.
Yeah. And how did you, how do you think you shifted out of that? Or like,
Well, I think for me, it was
Yeah.
a combination of things.
Yeah.
You know, I started to get more comfortable in my own skin as I got older. I also started to realize that I had something valuable to contribute to conversations, to relationships. And that gave me more confidence to speak up and share my thoughts and ideas.
And it's amazing how when you feel that shift internally, it really does.
Project.
Yeah.
Outward.
It projects outward and people respond to you differently.
Totally.
So another thing that I really liked in the interview was how Charlie talked to first impressions. And he kind of challenged this conventional wisdom that you always hear, which is
Be interested in others.
be interested in others.
Yeah.
And he's not saying that you shouldn't be interested in others.
Right.
But he says that's not the end all be all. Because I think about it,
It's
like
right.
if somebody's just like fawning all over you,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
It's like, okay, dude, I get it. You're interested in me, but like,
Right.
what else you got?
It can come off as a little
Desperate?
desperate or,
Needy, even.
yeah, like inauthentic or like you're trying too hard.
Right, exactly. Like you said, it can feel inauthentic.
Yeah. So he introduces this framework, which he calls the 60-second CTR.
60-second CTR. I love frameworks.
And he's talking about conveying fun,
Okay.
trust,
Fun. Just,
respect.
And respect CTR.
CTR within the first 60 seconds of interacting with someone.
Interesting. So like right out of the gate,
Yes.
you're setting this tone of fun, trust, and respect
Exactly.
before you even get to the being interested part.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
So for fun,
Fine.
you know, I think we're all guilty of this, like the autopilot, fine.
I'm good.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Maybe you move on.
But he talks about like really bringing some genuine enthusiasm to that initial interaction.
Oh, so like instead of
Yeah.
just saying fine.
You could say something like, I'm fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be here.
I'm doing great.
Pumped to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel a difference?
I do actually. Yeah. Yeah. Just even saying that out loud, I'm like,
Yeah.
feel a little more energized.
Yeah. And the other person picks up on that energy.
For sure.
So then for trust,
Yes.
he talks about not overselling yourself
Okay.
and actually letting other people
Contribute.
contribute to the conversation.
So it's not just you talking about how great you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he even talks about like reverse engineering conversations by like
Reverse engineering. That's a cool term.
incorporating like little hints
Ooh.
and hooks that will lead people to the topics that you want to talk about.
So like planting seeds
Yeah.
to guide the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I like that it's sneaky.
Yeah. And then for respect.
Respect.
This is where it gets into like the nonverbal cues.
Oh, the body language.
The body language, yeah.
Yeah.
He talks about slowing down your movements,
Okay.
exuding confidence through your body language,
Enjoy it.
and like just being comfortable
Comfortable in your own space.
in your own space.
You know, like owning
Your presence.
your presence.
Yeah.
And I think we've all seen the opposite of that, right?
Yeah.
Like somebody who's like fidgeting,
Totally.
avoiding eye contact.
Like they're about to run out of the room.
Yeah. Or like, I think about
you can just feel that nervous energy.
like that intern who's spilling coffee. You know what I mean?
All over themselves.
And it's like, it just reinforces their nervousness.
And it probably makes them even more nervous.
Right.
Which leads to more spilled coffee.
Exactly. So instead of shrinking back, he says you should actually open up your body language.
Interesting.
Reveal those vulnerable spots.
It's your neck.
Your neck, your hands.
Yeah.
And he says it signals safety and comfort.
So it's almost like by being more open, you're signaling to others that you're not a threat.
That you're safe to be around.
Right.
And it also makes you feel more comfortable.
That's a two-way street.
Yeah.
I like that.
So it's like channeling your inner lion instead of your inner rabbit.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It's so visual.
And then he talks about this loop between
body language
and internal state.
Internal state. Yeah.
So like, remember Tony Robbins and those
power poses?
Power poses, yeah.
Yeah. Stand like Superman.
Open up your chest. You
own the world.
Yeah.
Right.
And so Charlie's echoing that. He's saying like, really take conscious control of your posture.
Okay.
Stand up straight. Open up your chest and you'll feel this immediate shift.
In how you feel.
Yeah. In your groundedness.
Groundedness.
And confidence.
So it's like an instant charisma boost.
Yeah.
Just from standing up straight.
Yeah. And I think that's something that's really accessible to everyone.
Yeah. Anyone can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much a simple shift in posture can really make, like, if you just like think about it for a second, like really pay attention to how you're sitting or standing right now. And just like make a conscious effort to like open up your chest, stand up a little bit straighter.
Feel your feet on the ground.
Yeah. Grounded.
And it's crazy how much that
shifts your energy.
Yeah. It shifts your energy and it makes you feel more confident.
And when you feel more confident,
yeah,
you project that confidence.
Exactly.
And that's what people pick up on.
So another point that Charlie made that really resonated with me was this idea of focusing on inviting connection rather than convincing.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this is so powerful.
It's huge.
Yeah, because I think so much of the time we get caught up in this like need to
prove ourselves
to be right, to win the argument.
Yeah, or like you have the best ideas and everyone needs to agree with you.
And it's like this very pushy energy.
Yeah. And it's not very inviting.
No, it's the opposite of inviting.
It's like
it's repelling.
Yeah. And he uses this great analogy to sales and marketing.
Yeah.
Where he's saying like an invitation is always more effective than a hard sell. It's
like you're saying, hey, I've got this cool thing over here.
Yeah.
If you're interested, come check it out.
Yeah.
Rather than like
in your face.
You need this.
Yeah.
You have to buy this.
You need to buy this now.
Right. Yeah, totally.
And he also talks about how important it is to surround yourself with people who resonate with your message.
Right.
Rather than trying to convert everyone.
Yeah.
Have you ever found yourself like really pushing your beliefs onto others?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Especially when I was younger.
Yeah.
I thought I had all the answers.
I know. It's like I knew everything.
That phase where you think you know everything.
Right. And so I would just like
try to like shove my beliefs down everyone's throats.
So funny.
And it didn't work out very well.
No,
it just created a lot of conflict.
Yeah, and distance.
And distance in my relationships, yeah.
I think it's such a common experience though.
I think so too.
It's like part of growing up almost.
Yeah, you have to go through that phase where you think you know everything.
But eventually you realize that you don't.
And that's when the real learning begins.
Yeah. And I think for me, it wasn't until I let go of that need to convince.
Right.
And I just started focusing on like sharing my perspective authentically that I started to build
more genuine connections.
Yeah, more genuine connections.
Yeah.
So Charlie talks about this really inspiring example of a group called The Buried Life.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
And they had this goal
to play basketball.
With Obama. And it just seemed like impossible.
Yeah, like how do you even get close to the president?
Yeah.
Let alone play basketball with him.
And they were so persistent.
Yeah.
They were so open about their dream. And they actually pulled it off. They played basketball with Obama.
That's incredible.
And it's such an inspiring story because it shows you that like
anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
If you're willing to
get yourself out there.
Yeah. If you're not afraid to share your dream.
Ask for help.
Ask for help.
Yeah.
It makes you think like, what's your dream?
Right.
Like what could you achieve?
What's that one thing that you've always wanted to do?
Yeah.
But you've been too afraid to
go after it.
To go after it.
Yeah.
Yeah. because you think it's impossible.
So another key concept that Charlie talks about is this idea of going first in humanizing the interaction.
Yeah, I like that.
And it's all about like leading with vulnerability, compliments.
Being the one to break the ice and make people feel comfortable.
Yeah. And I think this is something that
can be tough.
It can be really tough, especially
for people who are introverted
or who are afraid of
or just like
being vulnerable,
afraid of being seen as too much.
Yeah.
You know,
too much too soon.
Like, I think for me, I often struggle with this because I feel like if I go too deep too quickly,
right,
it's going to be like too intense.
Like people are going to be like, whoa.
Yeah, like back off.
Okay, dude, too much information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Charlie makes this really good point that like
when you're willing to be vulnerable, it gives other people permission to be vulnerable too.
It creates that space for like a real connection.
It's like you're saying, hey, it's okay to be yourself here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to judge you.
It's safe.
If you want to share something personal, go for it.
And it doesn't have to be like this big dramatic thing.
Right.
It could be as simple as like offering a genuine compliment.
Yeah.
Or sharing a funny observation.
You're just like,
making eye contact and smiling.
Yeah.
Like really being present with the person you're interacting with.
That energetic shift from like guarded to open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
And then Charlie outlines these 6 charismatic mindsets.
Oh, yeah.
That he says can really transform the way you show up in the world.
6 charismatic mindsets.
Yeah. So the first one.
Number 1.
Is no matter what, I will be okay.
Okay.
And it's like that underlying sense of
self-assurance.
Yeah.
That helps you navigate any situation.
Yeah. It's like that knowing that like, even if things don't go my way,
you'll be all right.
I'll be all right.
You'll figure it out.
It's like releasing that fear of failure.
Yeah.
You know?
That fear of rejection.
Yeah.
That fear of not being good enough.
Because you know that like at your core, you're okay.
You're good enough.
Yeah.
Just as you are.
So the second mindset,
number 2,
is I care more about my character
than my reputation.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And this is all about like staying true to your values, even when it's not the easy path.
Even when it's hard.
Yeah.
Even when it's unpopular.
Yeah. It's that inner compass that guides you.
That's not swayed by
regardless of
external pressure.
External pressures or opinions.
Yeah.
So the third mindset,
number 3,
is I have impeccable honesty.
And integrity.
Yeah. And Charlie really emphasizes that like even small lies
can erode trust.
In ourselves.
In yourself.
And in our relationship.
In your relationships.
It's about being someone whose word is their bond.
Yeah. Like when you say you're going to do something.
Yeah.
You do it.
You
follow through.
Yeah.
And people know that they can rely on you.
Yeah. So the fourth mindset.
Number 4.
Is I don't need to convince anyone of anything.
Ooh, I love that one.
This is huge.
That's a big one.
It's a huge shift.
Yeah.
From that like need to control.
To letting go of that need.
Yeah. And instead just like inviting collaboration.
Right.
And allowing people to come to their own conclusions.
Yeah.
You know?
It's about respecting other humans' opinions.
Respecting where people are at.
Even if you disagree with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And trusting that like
the right people
will
resonate with your message.
Yeah.
And the ones who don't, they're not meant to be on your journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fifth mindset.
Number 5.
Is I proactively share my purpose.
Oh.
And this is about like really stepping into your authentic self.
Right.
And letting your passions shine through.
Like what lights you up?
Yeah.
What gets you excited?
Yeah. And it's about inspiring others.
By living your truth.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then the sixth mindset.
Number 6.
And I go first in humanizing the interaction.
Which we already talked about.
But it's such an important one.
It is.
So those are the 6 charismatic mindsets.
6 powerful mindsets.
That Charlie outlines in the interview.
And he also analyzes figures like Donald Trump.
Yes.
And how he uses charisma to his advantage.
And he acknowledges that we can learn
from people.
Even
if we don't agree with them. Politically or whatever.
Right. And I think that's a really important point.
It is.
Because we can get so caught up in our own
biases and judgments that we miss out on the opportunity to learn from people.
To learn from people who are different from us, you know?
So like think about someone like Donald Trump.
Okay.
Love him or hate him.
Yeah.
There's no denying
that he has charisma.
Right?
Yeah. He has this like
unwavering conviction.
Beliefs. Yeah. Even in the face of criticism.
Yeah.
He doesn't back down.
He doubles down. Yeah.
And he's very good at like controlling the narrative.
He knows how to work a crowd.
Yeah.
He knows how to get people on his side.
And so like, even though we may not agree with his policies or his methods,
right,
there's something to be learned.
Absolutely.
From his ability
to connect with people. And to persuade them.
And so how can you project that same level of certainty?
Right.
In your own ideas?
How can you own your message?
Yeah.
Without letting doubts. Or criticisms derail you.
It's about like not letting the haters get to you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's about believing in yourself.
Yeah.
In your vision.
And your message.
Even when no one else does.
And so this leads to another really crucial point that they talk about, which is being an authentic leader.
Yeah.
And they use this term, $1 billion business.
$1 billion business.
And they're not talking about money. Right? They're talking about creating something.
That you wouldn't sell. For $1 billion.
For $1 billion.
Right.
Because it's so aligned with your core values.
Yeah.
You know?
It's something that you believe in so deeply.
Yeah. It's something that you're so passionate about.
That you would never betray it for any amount of money.
And it reminds me of like how we approach this podcast.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about
chasing downloads.
Or sponsorships or whatever.
It's about like the long-term vision.
Right.
And impact.
It's about building something that matters. That makes a difference in the world.
Yeah. And I think that authenticity resonates with people.
It does.
It builds trust.
It inspires loyalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But staying true to yourself, especially in the face of power dynamics, can be really tough.
It can be.
And they talk about the dangers of relying solely on yes people for information.
You know, like surrounding yourself with people who are just going to tell you what you want to hear. Because that's not going to help you grow.
It's going to challenge you.
It's not going to challenge you. It's not going to make you better.
It's just going to keep you in your little bubble.
It's going to keep you in your echo chamber.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get the real feedback.
The real feedback that you need.
That you need to grow. Yeah.
So they emphasize the importance of like direct connection and honest feedback loops.
Right.
Have you ever been in a situation where you felt pressured to go along with something that you didn't agree with?
I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah.
Especially in work situations. Where there's a clear power dynamic.
Yeah.
Right.
And it can be really scary.
It can be terrifying.
To speak up.
Speak up.
When you see something that feels wrong. For me, what I try to remember is that like,
your integrity?
My integrity is not up for negotiation.
It's not negotiable.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And if a situation feels consistently misaligned.
Right.
With my values.
With your values.
I know that it might be time to
walk away. Yeah.
So they tell the story about a friend who they realized they couldn't trust.
Okay.
Because of all these like little lies that he would tell.
Oh, like white lies.
Yeah. And it just highlights how even those seemingly insignificant dishonesties can really erode trust.
Yeah. Because if someone's willing to lie about small things, what else are they lying about?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
It makes you question everything.
And so it's about like paying attention to those red flags and trusting your gut when something feels off.
Yeah.
You know?
If something feels too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah. And also just like surrounding yourself with people who are honest.
Yeah.
And trustworthy.
And being that kind of person for others.
Right. And then they get into this really interesting discussion about charismatic archetypes.
Oh, yeah.
Which I find fascinating.
This is a cool concept.
Yeah. So Charlie outlines 5 distinct types.
5 types of charisma.
Yeah. So we have high conviction.
Okay.
Authentic.
Funny. Empathetic.
And energetic. So for high conviction. Think Conor McGregor.
Okay.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
These individuals with like unwavering belief in their vision.
Right. They have that like
they know
certainty, that unshakable certainty.
And it's magnetic.
Yeah.
You know,
people are drawn to that.
For authentic, think Joe Rogan.
Known
for like speaking his mind.
Yeah.
And being true to himself.
Being authentic, even when it's not easy or popular.
And that transparency is really appealing to a lot of people.
Because it's refreshing.
Yeah. Yeah. Forced funny.
Funny.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, I think Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, yeah.
Bringing the laugh.
Bringing the levity.
Yeah.
You know?
Laughter is definitely charismatic.
It is.
Yeah.
So for empathetic. Oprah is a prime example.
Oprah.
That deep capacity to connect with others and make them feel seen and heard.
Right. Like she can just sit down with someone and they feel like they're the only person in the world.
Yeah.
And amazing.
And then for energetic. Think early Will Smith.
Okay.
Jack Black.
Yeah.
That contagious enthusiasm.
Yeah.
You know?
Like they light up the room.
They light up the room, yeah.
Yeah.
And they also point out that someone like Barack Obama embodies multiple archetypes.
Oh, interesting.
So he's
not just one.
Yeah, he's not just one.
He's a combination of different types.
He's got that high conviction. He's authentic.
Yeah.
He's empathetic.
He's got that dad energy too.
Yeah, got that dad energy.
He's the cool dad that everyone wants to hang out with.
And that's what makes him such a compelling and influential figure.
Right.
And it's a reminder that we can cultivate different aspects of charisma based on our own strengths and goals.
So it's not like you have to fit into one box.
Yeah.
You can be a blend.
You could be a blend of
different types.
Of different types, yeah.
I like that.
And it's possible to embody multiple archetypes.
Right.
And create a truly unique
and captivating
presence.
Yeah.
And then they shift gears a little bit and talk about charisma in dating and relationships, which I know.
This is a juicy topic.
It's a juicy topic.
Yeah.
So Charlie emphasizes authenticity, confidence, and having standards beyond physical appearance.
Beyond just looks.
Yeah, as key factors for men.
Okay.
So it's about
knowing your worth.
And
attracting women who align with your values.
Yeah.
Not just playing games. Right.
Yeah.
Because that gets old.
Yeah. And he encourages men to move beyond the generic pickup lines.
Yeah. That cheesy pickup line.
And really engage women in a genuine and meaningful way.
Yeah.
So demonstrate your value beyond just wanting to pick them up.
Right.
You know?
It's about showing that you're interested in them as a person.
Yeah. As a human being.
Yeah. Not just as a conquest.
And he cautions against putting women on a pedestal.
Okay.
You know.
Don't put them on a pedestal. Because then you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
And he suggests shifting the power dynamic.
Okay.
By filtering for authentic connection.
So you're not just taking whatever you can get.
Yeah, you're not just trying to
You're being selective.
Yeah, you're being selective.
About who you spend your time with.
And that's how you create that true attraction. True attraction, yeah.
Yeah.
So finally, they touch on this topic of speaking like a leader.
Oh, yeah.
Which I know a lot of people are interested in.
Yeah, everyone wants to know how to speak with authority.
Yeah.
And confidence.
So Charlie emphasizes the importance of eliminating filler words.
Okay. Yeah. Those little words that we all use. To fill the space.
Yeah. And replacing them with strategic pauses.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So instead of saying...
you just pause. And let the silence hang there.
And it creates this vacuum of attention.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes people lean in.
Yeah, it makes people lean in.
And pay attention to what you're going to say next.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he also suggests incorporating storytelling and humor into your conversations.
Yeah, because stories are engaging. And they're memorable.
Yeah.
And humor is always a good way to
connect with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to make them feel comfortable.
So it's about bringing in those personal anecdotes and making your message more relatable. Yeah. And he wraps up the interview with this really powerful mindset.
Okay.
That I think unlocks a lot of potential for authentic confidence.
And connection. Okay.
And it's this idea that there are no superiors.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So everyone is equal.
Everyone is equal.
Regardless of their
status or position. It's about treating everyone with respect and recognizing the inherent worth
and value
in every individual.
Yeah.
Regardless of
title,
their role, their background.
You know. Yeah. It's about remembering.
It's about remembering that you're not dealing with roles.
Yeah.
You're dealing with people.
To be people.
Yeah. it's so easy to get caught up in those titles and hierarchies,
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're all just human beings.
We're all just people trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
And make our way in the world.
And I think when we approach each other with that kind of understanding and respect,
it creates a much more positive and fulfilling
it changes everything.
Experience for everyone.
Yeah. So before we wrap up this deep dive into charisma, we wanted to share a special tradition that we have on the show.
Oh, yeah.
So our previous guest always leaves a question for the next guest.
It's like a chain connecting our conversation.
Connecting our conversations across time.
Across time. I like that.
And the question that Charlie left for us.
Okay.
For you, our listener, really. Is this...
What is the most important thing you are doing?
What is the most important thing you are doing?
To increase your well-being.
To increase your well-being.
Wow, that's a good one.
It's a powerful question.
It is.
And it really makes you stop and think.
It does.
About your priorities.
Yeah.
And how you're investing in yourself.
Like, what are you actually doing on a daily basis?
Yeah.
To take care of yourself.
Yeah.
To make sure that you're...
showing up as your best self.
As your best self.
And it ties back to everything we've talked about today.
Right.
Self-love, authenticity, pursuing a life that's truly aligned with your values.
Yeah. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, it's hard to
take care of anything else.
Take care of anything else.
Yeah.
Or anyone else.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Right.
So as you go about your day, we encourage you to really ponder that question.
Yeah.
What is the most important thing you are doing?
What is it?
For your well-being?
Yeah.
And if you're looking to dive deeper into the world of charisma, we highly recommend checking out Charlie Houpert's YouTube channel and Charisma University.
He's got some great stuff out there.
He does.
Tons of practical tips and insights. Yeah. It's a really valuable resource.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into charisma.
Yeah.
We hope you walk away with some valuable insights.
And a renewed sense of possibility.
Yeah. Until next time.
Keep exploring.
Keep exploring.
Keep growing.
Keep growing.
And keep connecting.
And keep connecting.